everyone. Once again, my name is Drew, and today I will be walking you through a bit of Stronghold Kingdoms. The first few times we talked about a little bit of an intermediate course of action when playing the game, attacking, defending, and most recently we did a beginner's guide. Now we're going to be talking a bit further than the beginners, but still a little bit of starting out, and we're going to go through research. Now, I'm doing this on World 1 so I can kind of show you what I've done throughout my playing time. But I'm also going to scope this and really mold this so that it meshes with the new world of World 6 that just came out. Now, in terms of research, each game world is different. You have World 1, for example. It's already established. You have princes, you have dukes, so on and so forth. You have larger people with lots of villages, most of them very veteran players that can help you out. If you needed stone, you could ask them, and on many occasions I've even given people full stockpiles worth of stone many times throughout the day if they're close enough. Now, my recommendation for starting out is to research scouts. What scouts do is it allows you to stay active and allows you to really show your presence throughout the game, as well as it imitates high production values without having to research it. Now, I know I say scouts early on, but really mathematics is needed as well. 10 levels, so you should do 2 levels of mathematics, 1 level of scouts, and then so on from there. When you do that, mathematics, what it does is it lowers your research time, which allows you to do things a bit faster. Now, as you can see, I'm at quite a high amount of research time. It's roughly 60%. I'm at 13 hours, which it takes well over a day. Sometimes I think it's one day, 20 hours right now for me for one research. But as you can see, my scouting is fully maxed. Level 10 on speed, level 10 on capacity, and 8 scouts available. What 8 scouts allows you to do is this achievement right here. Let me see. Alright, so what this allows you to do right here, Horse Master, scout 1,000 restore stashes. That's a diamond achievement. And what that allows you to do is, when you have 8 scouts, every time you send a scout out and it returns something back, that's 1. So you can do 8 at a time and you can get that achievement faster. A lot of people do that. A lot of people don't because they like the bulk. Now, say for instance, over here by one of my villages, you have a wood stash. There's only 100 wood left, but say for instance there was 2,000 there. I want to send 8 scouts. Now, at my max capacity, I think my scouts are getting about 450 goods per scout. So my 8 would bring back roughly 2,400. And that would be roughly the full stash, considering how much is there at the beginning, and it's roughly about 3,000. Now, I know the numbers are pretty rounded, and I'm saying roughly a lot, but really that's what it is. There's not really an exact science because each type of good for stashes is different. But going from there, once you have a semi-good in scouts and a semi-good in mathematics, what you want to branch out to is your castle. Now, I actually consulted a few players, one of which was Peps. Now, if you don't know Peps in World 1, consider yourself lucky, because he is one of the best attackers in the game. Him and his friend Jacob, they will destroy a castle. Now, I'm not just saying that because he's in my house. I've actually attacked him and been attacked by him. It's not very fun. But he insists on switching between mathematics, scouting, and castle. Now, when I say castle, I mean castleization, which upgrades the keep. Now, when you have a higher level of keep, what happens is the arrows come out faster and it changes the appearance a bit. And then from there you have Sally Forth. Sally Forth are those little knights that come out at the front of the battle and towards the end, and sometimes they're in the middle depending on how long it is. They come out twice, and there's a maximum of 10 knights that come out. Now, it's 5 knights and 5 knights. It's not 10 knights altogether twice. So there would be 2 separate occasions where 5 knights come out, and that equals 10. So from there you have castle build time, which is this right here, and then you have diplomacy, which you wouldn't really need, and then defense. What this does is it allows you to place certain structures throughout each level. Now, as you can see, the first level, what it allows is guard houses. Second level, so let me click it, it was killing pits, and you can see that right at the top there. And from there it goes all the way to level 10. Now, as you can see, my diplomacy is not maxed. I don't really see a need for it being maxed. I like the honor that comes in from the AI castles. Vaults isn't fully maxed. I should probably max that out, considering what Vaults does is when someone comes to pillage you, the higher the research is for vaults, the longer time it takes. Now, a lot of players, when I first started out, said that this was bad because then your enemies, what they would do is they would just send pillages against you, and when they do this, it saves them honor. But really, when you have semi-full stockpile or even a full stockpile of weapons, and you don't have max vaults, it takes about half the time for them to pillage you, and you lose all your weapons then. Okay, now you have fortification, which like defenses up here, it allows you to put new structures in. But this is more or less wooden walls, wooden gatehouses, wooden platforms, and then from here it goes all the way out to like stone walls, stone small towers, and so on and so forth from there. And now here is also where you would like to mix in a bit of production, because once you've got a pretty good amount of everything here, as well as a bit of the education with mathematics, maybe a bit of merchant guilds to help you sell some of the excess goods that you're scouting. What you're going to want to do is maybe put 1 or 2 points into wooden stone, maybe 1 into smelting. As you can see here, I don't have much as far as this goes, which when I say this, I really don't want to say it because I don't believe in banqueting. I don't find it productive enough for it to be worth my time. It takes up too much space in your villages, and to even have these two, or with these two, that's a spice dock and a silk dock. To even have those, or even a salt dock, which is this right here, you have to have a specialized building. When you have those specialized buildings, I mean not buildings, village types, what happens is that you lower the production on wood, stone, and I believe on the valley side, which is where you can put the vineyards, you don't even have any iron. Without iron, you don't have killing pits, you don't have armor, you gotta transfer all that stuff in. So, in my opinion, as a military-based person trying to attack and trying to scout, I don't see the point in banqueting. Yeah, it may help you rank up, but in the long run, when you research military and you put your command size up, you do force march, which is your army speed, it allows you to gain AI hit points or honor, and when that happens, you rank up pretty fast as opposed to banqueting. Now, I know there's going to be plenty of comments or even suggestions from people saying I'm wrong, saying I'm stupid. So be it. It's my opinion, and I think I'm doing pretty well for myself so far. Alright, now cutting back to research, I realized that I did not even fully showcase what research is and how you go about even picking said researches. Now, when you first go to the screen, you're going to see these 4 tabs, which is industry, military, farming, and education. These 4 tabs make up every single research. And now the view that I've been in is the tree tab, which usually starts out, it's pretty zoomed in like that. All you do is you move your scroll wheel, you can zoom out, it allows you to look at it a lot better. But from there, let's go back to the original view. Here you can see the different, how it's split up into like farming, education, like kind of like I said before. Now with every single detail about research, whether it be what it unlocks, what level you have to be to unlock it, and all the information about research and anything really about the game, go to the wiki. The wiki is the biggest source of information within the game. Now, I touched on it a few videos back, and I really think every single player should look at the wiki. Now, I've already opened up the research tab, which we're talking about research, so I'll open it up. Okay, it's in the miscellaneous tab here. All you do is you click it, and you go down there to research, and then you click that. Now, here you can see it's broken up into the 4 tabs that we recently talked about. Now, say for instance, I am talking about scouts quite a bit. Let me go to military. Here, you can see they made a picture, which I think it's wonderful that they do this, but they made a picture of the whole entire tree of military. Now, as you can see, it's level 2 for castleization, level 2, and what that shield above it means is that's the minimum level that you need in order to unlock that research. So from here you can see that horsemanship, which is speed of scouts, is unlocked at level 3. But we go back to here, which is the research, and from here every single research is detailed, and it says what it unlocks, It doesn't go into details as much as you're hovering right here, because all you can do is you can hover over it, I believe, if it works. Alright, so yeah, you can hover over it, and then the top up here you can see that it shows you exactly what it unlocks. It seems to want to work half the time, but it's quite useful. I think it's only messing up just because I have the current research going. But yes, the wiki, definitely a great source of information. It allows you to know anything about anything in the game. It has a great search function up here, and there's plenty of categories, and I guarantee if there's not a lot of information here, message one of the admins, one of the moderators, hell, message me, and I'll try to do my best to really explain it to the best of my knowledge. Now, going from there, we haven't really talked about much of education. Now, in education, here, I'll open this up. Alright, now here you can see it starts out with mathematics. You can max that out at level 1 because there's no shields above it, you can see. So I suggest doing that, like the way I said before with scouts, intertwining them to where they're 2 for mathematics, 1 for scouts, so on and so forth. Engineering, what that does is it looks like it's unlocked at level 4. It allows you to increase your stockpile. In recent Stronghold games, when you had a stockpile, what happened was when you ran out of space, you would place another one. But in this Stronghold, it relies heavily on research. So what you want to do is the max stockpile capacity is 162,000. That's the same for Granary. The max Armory is 600. Sorry, I don't know what it is for Village Hall and Inn, because as you can see, I don't have anything in the hall capacity because, as I said earlier, I'm not a banqueter. I don't want to touch it. And in capacity, I don't really have max, just because, as you can see, I'm consuming it quite a bit. Yeah, as you can see, I'm consuming more than what I make, which is one of the reasons why I have it in the queue here. But research the capacity. That's how you're going to get higher limits for the stockpile, Granary, Armory, Inn, and Village Hall. Now, there is nothing to place for the Village Hall or the Armory. The Village Hall is this thing in the middle here. This acts as your Village Hall. Now the stockpile also acts as your Armory, so you don't have to place one like in previous Stronghold games. But I digress. We're going back to the research. Now, one of the things about the education tab, it has a lot of things that are more. It has a lot of things that are, I guess you could say, pretty, and it really adds. It really makes your life easier. It's not really a necessity. Say, for instance, housing capacity, armory capacity, things like that. You don't really need it if you consume a lot. The housing capacity I do recommend, though, just because, as you can see, 199, that's pretty low for mine. You can see the amount of workers I have here. I have quite a bit, but we go back here. Armory capacity. If you're using a lot of your armory and a lot of your ale, a lot of your hull capacity, a lot of your granary and stockpile, if you're using all that stuff before it has a chance to stockpile, go for it. Just skip it. But I definitely recommend doing it because, as you can see here, while I'm fighting, I'm buying mostly swords. My pikes stockpile up, and I don't really have time to sell them. Then we go down here to arts. Arts it's an odd thing. It goes up by, I believe, 2 per research. So let me check just to make sure. I don't want to be wrong. Plus 10, plus 12, plus 16, plus 20. Okay, so yeah, it looks to be going up by about 4 to 2, and then it goes all the way from plus 10 all the way to plus 60. So it's a difference of 50. In my experience, that should not be maxed until you have great production in both military and defense, as well as for wood and tools and everything like that. So I wouldn't suggest doing that as of yet, early on. But one thing I can suggest is to get Theology. Now what you want to do is, once you're level 2, which as you can see at the top here, that little shield means level 2. What you want to do is you want to unlock Arts level 3 and then unlock Theology level 1. Now even if you don't go beyond that point, what this allows you to do is stockpile faith points. Now even if you are a a yeoman, and what you want to do is you just want to sit there, you want to farm, you want to scout your resource stashes, you don't want to mess with anyone. Even if you don't have any buildings placed, the churches within your counties and within your parishes will give you faith points. In one of the worlds, I believe I'm a I don't know, what is it, like a serf. I'm a serf in one of those, I believe it's World 4. And all I do is I just sit there. I don't use any faith points. I have just Theology level 1 maxed. I mean, not maxed, unlocked. And what this allows me to do is I have about 1,000 to 2,000 faith points doing absolutely nothing. And I definitely suggest unlocking that a bit more once you get a bit more into war and a bit more into fighting, but early on it's not really needed. Now, decoration and literature. As you can see, there's quite high levels to unlock all these. I'd say unlock them as you rank up. That way you can place them within your building. The closer you get to the village hall, the higher the bonuses. As you can see here, it's kind of huddled around all of my village hall, all my statues and jesters, theaters, and all that. One very, very large debate is justice. Justice buildings I don't see as worth it. Some people say it's really worth the honor that you get from it, but I don't know. I don't think I have even any in this building. Oh no, I do. 22.5. Was that, like a killing rack or something? It's somewhere in this mess, but I don't see, because with justice you get negative as for your multiplier. I mean, you get positive for your multiplier, but negative for your popularity. And I like to recruit a lot of peasants. So what happens is I don't like having negative. Oh wait, here it is right here. Stocks. But I don't like having negative popularity because I like to recruit peasants. I normally like to have on ×5, which is another reason why I'm researching breweries right now, so I can have a bit more. Alright, so we go back here to the wiki. Now, the wiki page, I keep saying this, but it's definitely true. It's a great source of information. Now, say for instance ranks. I wanted to see what sort of ranks I can do as far as villages to unlock, and how do I obtain new villages. When should I be expecting new villages? When should I be expecting new research? Now, all you do is you click the miscellaneous tab, which is right here, and then you scroll down to ranks. You click ranks, and it brings up this page. Nice little picture right there, and then you can go right to table ranks, which is, I go here at least 3 times a day answering people's questions. Now, it shows every single rank on the left hand side. On the right hand side, additional notes. This is usually what's unlocked, and it allows you to go to that page. So say for instance Yemen. Okay, say for instance Yemen here. Okay, you have a max vassals of 5, and you have a max villages of 1. Now, it also unlocks pole turner, armorer, and pikeman, which you have to unlock through the research tab. It should be under industry for that matter, and pikeman should be under military as far as in one of these tabs here. And then, say for instance I don't know what an armorer is, I click that, and it brings me right here. It's the weapons and workshops. An armorer with full description, what's needed per piece of armor it makes, and what it actually produces and puts into the armory. The wiki will be your greatest source, your greatest crutch for this game. And another thing is, if you can't find it on the wiki, boom, right here, there's the forums. Now, make sure to use the search function before you post anything. There's been plenty of people reposting new or old questions, but there's a forum here for game help. There's plenty of things here where people have answered, and you should get an answer within a day, if not quicker. A lot of times they're answered within an hour, but no guarantees on that. Alright, but yeah, here's the forums. You can click it by clicking right here on the left hand side, official forums. Should pop up like that. Or you could just simply go to forum.strongholdkingdoms.com. But from there, we go back to research. Now, we haven't really talked about the inner mechanics of research. Okay, now we have this right here, which is the main screen. Here you have the research queue, which I'm running a premium token, which allows me to have the research queue. It allows me to have up to 5 researches waiting and 1 current, which is extremely well for if your research takes a short amount of time. For me, it doesn't really matter if I have any in a queue, because it takes over a day, sometimes 2 days. So from there, if your research takes less than an hour, for instance, it's going to be it's going to be great, because you will be able to do other things. You'll be able to go for walks, for instance, while you're waiting for your research, and there's nothing else to do in the game. But then you go back to scouts, okay? Because say, for instance, you're waiting for research, you're waiting for your buildings to build. Now that you have your scouts research, you can get more wood. You can uncover these resource stashes and get honor to rank up. You can get bread if you're running out of food. See, and then yeah, right here you can. I'm just barely out of my honor circle. But if I switch over to this village now, these are in my honor circle. Okay, so now I have the research for scouts. I'm scouting these, I'm getting honor, I'm ranking up. I'm scouting these, I'm getting food. I don't have to do production and farming now because I'm scouting so much food. Oh look, another one for honor. And when you scout for honor, it does help. It is very low starting out in new worlds. And then we go back to research, and then we go to military. What you want to do for military is you want to research the forced march, which forced march allows you to move your troops on the map quicker. When you do this, you can be the first one to say this wolf lair and all these wolf lairs here around me. And when you do that, you rank up a lot quicker, and when you go to attack your enemies, you don't have to wait a long time for your armies to say match up. So, alright, from there, I think I've touched on basically every subject about starting out. There's a lot of useful research methods, which is merchant guilds. If you have excess amounts, make sure to research them. From there, you have transportation, which is the speed of the merchants. Now you'll be surprised how well you'll want that, or how much you'll want that, because say for instance here, and I want to trade to my parish low carb rigs. What'll happen is it takes about 2 minutes 24 seconds. That 2 minutes and 24 seconds without any research is about 30 minutes. Now waiting 30 minutes for my merchant to go from here to here is painful. It's painful to even watch. So I'll try to go find something to do over here. But you don't want that. So what you'll do is research that, like I said, mix it in with forced march, mix it in with the hit points of your archers, with your pikemen, and from there you'll be a lot more balanced. Also mix in a bit of production. I don't recommend doing banqueting again, but once you can unlock the blacksmith, the pole turner, the armorers, and the fletching, do so, but not until you're higher rank. You won't need any of that. And the one thing that you don't get from the map from scouting is weapons good. Alright, so I think I've pretty much touched on everything. We touched on scouting, we touched on military, we touched on castles, we touched on a bit more of the education. Farming, honestly, I didn't touch until I was about I think a squire or a baron, something like that. And as you can see here, I still don't have it all maxed. I produce enough just based on the copious amounts of buildings I have. So you don't really need to go too much into it, because I've always scouted for my food if I've needed it. So from there, let's touch back on a few points that we've went on. I said we've gone through farming, education, military, and production. Now we go back here, we go back to the wiki. The wiki, I keep saying it, but it's a great source of information. You go here and you can know anything about the game and everything about the game. Now also, you also have the forums, which as you can see here, it's just forum.strongholdkingdoms.com, or you can click the wiki link right here. And to get to the wiki from inside of your game, you just click help, and now you can just click Stronghold Kingdoms help. Now you can also get to the forum from here as well by clicking forum. Alright, so that has been research tutorial slash walkthrough. It's been kind of a rough version, but I hope this helped anyone. There's going to be links down in the description for a personal guide and a well thought out and written out research guide. Now this is written by a few players. I've compiled them into one, and really what it does is it explains the researches. Let me go back here. What it does is it goes through every research. Like it goes through forestry, stone quarry. It goes through everything like that, but in more detail, and recommends a certain path to take depending on your game style. But again, I keep trying to end this, but I keep getting sidetracked. So my name is Drew. This has been the Rough Research walkthrough, and I hope this helped. If you have any suggestions for any more videos, message me in game or message me on the forums or on YouTube. I'll definitely be able to do it. Have a great day.